I'm Teacher Robin. Welcome to another live streaming class. As you can see, I am still in my home. This is my living room. We are still in confinement here in Spain, in Barcelona, where I live. So I'm still filming the classes from my house. But we can still learn together even though we're not in the studio. Basically today I want to talk about our different hobbies. So as a lot of us are spending more time at home, this could be a time where we actually improve or take on some new hobbies, or we have more time to do the hobbies that we already enjoyed. So I'm going to give you some vocabulary to talk about these different kinds of hobbies, and then I want to hear from you about what your hobbies are and whether or not you are doing them at home right now. So let's start by looking at the correct grammar that we use to talk about our hobbies. So hobbies are things that we do in our free time when we're not working or studying, and the way that we talk about these hobbies is we use verbs like to like or to enjoy. So with the verbs to like or to enjoy, they are followed by either the infinitive or the gerund. So we can say, I like to read, obviously, I like to read, or I like reading. Okay, so either one is correct. You can say, I enjoy reading, I like reading, or I like to read. Okay, so any of those are correct when talking about our hobbies. So let's start with some of the most common hobbies that you can do while you're at home. So one of my favorite hobbies is to read. So I love to read. I love reading. As you can see, I have many bookshelves full of books. So let's look at some specific vocabulary for this. So you can say, I love to read. I love reading. There are different kinds of books that you can read. For example, I have an e-reader, or a Kindle is the brand name. And so here I can read on that. I can download the books, or I can check them out from the library. We also have paperback books. Okay, so these are a little bit lighter, easier to carry. Or we have hardback books. Okay, it's called hardback because the cover is actually a little bit thicker and it's hard if you touch it. Okay, so you can read from a hardback book, you can read from a paperback book, or you can use your e-reader, or you might even read on your phone or your computer. Another hobby that you might have is doing sports or exercise. Now, you might think that this is difficult to do at home, and depending on what it is, it actually may be, but there are many things, many kinds of sports or exercises that we can do at home, and they're actually really easy. For example, I like to do yoga, so I have my yoga mat here that I use. I just spread it out on the floor, and I follow videos on YouTube, sites like that for exercise. I also do things like Zumba, which is dancing, or body combat, body pump, where you can use things like weights, which normally you would use at the gym, but you can substitute them with things like cans of beans or bottles of water, anything that you can hold in your hand that's heavy that you can use to lift. You can also do that as well. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can exercise while you are at home. So there's no excuse. All right, so another hobby that you may have that you can do at home is cooking or baking. So the difference here with baking, it's something that we always make in the oven. So this is normally sweet things like cookies, cakes, pies, etc. So for anything else, we say cooking if you use a different kind of method. So what are some things that you need to have for sure if you're going to cook from home? You will need a spoon. This is a big one. You can also have a smaller one. A knife. A fork. So this is a bigger fork again, but you need a fork. And a spatula is important because this is for you to flip things over like eggs, etc. And you'll need a bowl for mixing. So there are many different recipes that you can follow. You can look videos up online and you can practice. So if you've never cooked before or you think I'm not a very good cook, then this is the time, if you have extra time at home, to practice. I love cooking, for example, but I don't bake very often. I'm not very good at it. But with my time at home, I've been practicing my baking skills, so doing things like cookies. I made some zucchini bread, so anyone can do it, and if you have extra time, then this is a great way to practice this hobby, and it's cheaper to eat at home or to make things at home than it is eating out at restaurants, so there are many advantages of having cooking as a hobby. Another hobby that you might have is watching TV shows or watching movies. Now, some of you might think that's not a hobby, that's just what people do when they sit on their sofa at home. But some people really like a specific kind of movie, like a thriller or horror movies. So some people might focus on a specific genre, or maybe you really like TV series with a certain actor. So one of the great things about watching movies and TV shows, if you're learning a language, is that this is a great opportunity to listen to the characters in that language, and you can watch with subtitles. I recommend putting them in the language that you're learning. So if you're learning English, then put the subtitles in English, and that is going to help you to tune your ear to different accents, American English versus British English, for example. And this is a great way to relax at home during this extra time, but also to practice. Another hobby that you might have is playing music or singing or playing a musical instrument. So that is not one of my hobbies, but many of you I know watch our classes with Teacher Jay, for example, and he likes to play the trumpet, and many of you have said that you also play musical instruments. So you could do something like a jam session, for example, which is where many musicians come together and play music. This could be online as well. I've seen on some different TV shows that I follow that many people are doing jam sessions online. So just because you're at home doesn't mean that you can't play music with your friends. So try it out if you haven't. Maybe you can watch some videos, you can record yourself, and you can share it. And finally, another hobby. I haven't mentioned all of the hobbies that exist in the world because I would be talking forever, but one hobby that many of you have is studying a language, particularly English. So I talked before about how you can practice with movies and TV shows, but you can also practice with our course. So if you don't use the ABBA course already, then I encourage you to. You can use our web version, or you can download the app and you can follow the course, which is based on short films, and you can also supplement this with the live English section where we have articles, videos, podcasts, all kinds of different content for you to practice your English. It doesn't matter what level that you have, we have something for you at ABBA. You can also check out all of our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and you can follow our blog, ABBA Journal, and there you can also find really good information and learn something in English every day. So this is the time that you have to be at home, to make the most of this time. Sorry, my dog is walking past. And you can improve your English. So tell me in the comments, what are your hobbies? Are you doing them at home? Have you taken up a new hobby? Are you doing something that you hadn't done before at home? Or are you able to do the same hobbies that you already enjoyed? So tell me in the comments. I hope this class has been useful. I hope you've learned some good vocabulary, and I hope you'll join us again next week. So see you next time. Bye.